Mnangagwa and ZANUPF face fresh Heroes Day message from retired Army General after retired Army General Winston Sigauke says ZANUPF must put Zimbabwe before function and personal ambition. Kusangana kwatunoita pana pachannel yenyu yeMagaba News patinobatana udzinenge dzichiitika munharaunda nemunyika yedu yeZimbabwe tichitikana pane vachangosvika. Ndiwo mukana wekubaya button rakanzi subscribe nekutena notification bell kusvika patinoposta nhau idzi dzematongero enyika unova uri wekutanga kusangana nenews dzatinenge taisa. Zuva ranhasi takabata mashoko ari kubva kuna Winston Sigauke Mapranga vanova retired Army General veruzhinji vanovaona vachinyora mashoko vachizivisa kuruzhinji rwenyika yeZimbabwe. Zuva ranhasi panova pari kupembererwa zuva remagamba vakarwira nyika yeZimbabwe apo paiswa message naretired Army General vachitaura vachiti zuva iri hatifaniri kungoritora sezuva rinongopfuura asi tinofanira kuritora sezuva rekurangarira kune vakaunza rusununguko munyika yeZimbabwe. Ende pazuva iri zvakare tinofanira kunge tichiudza hurumende yenyika yeZimbabwe kuti zuva iri vanofanira kuriremekedza nekupa ruzhinji rwenyika yeZimbabwe zvarinoda nekuitira vana venyika yeZimbabwe zvavanoda, kwete kuti zuva iri roselebratewa nyika yeZimbabwe ichingobhenefita maindividual isina chaikudzorera kuvana vemunyika yedu yeZimbabwe. Anova ari mashoko abatisiswa neveruzhinji, anova ari mashoko atenderedzwa munyika yedu yeZimbabwe amuri kuona aripo pascreen apo. So according to Sigauke's words, Zimbabwe's Heroes Day commemoration have once again become a platform for reflection on the country's liberation struggle. But this year, retired Lieutenant General Winston Sigauke Mapranga has used the occasion to deliver a pointed message about the state of the nation. In a statement marking Heroes Day, the retired Army General urged that remembering Zimbabwean fallen heroes should go beyond ceremonies, speech and celebration. His message focused on the gap of between the ideals for which the liberation struggle was fought and the every experience of Zimbabwe. According to Sigauke, the heroes of the liberation struggle did not sacrifice their lives to so that the country's wealth would benefit only a privilege. Few well-ordinary citizens continue facing economic difficulties. He said the sacrifices were made with the expectation that veterans, workers, young people, and ordinary Zimbabweans would enjoy a greater freedom, dignity, and opportunity. This marks his Heroes Day, a message more than a simple commemoration. It is also a call for accountability. Sigauke pointed to a certain affecting war veterans, saying that many countries continue to face inadequate support and economic insecurity despite the roles they played in the liberation struggle. He also highlighted the challenge facing young people. He added that too many young Zimbabweans struggle to find a meaningful employment or opportunity to build sustainable livelihoods. For Sigauke, this raises an important question: the ideals of the liberation struggle being fully reflected in Zimbabweans that exist today. Retired General also challenged the way political power is exercised. He added that Zimbabwe needs a leadership that restore discipline, integrity, and a sense of national purpose across ZANUPF and the state. His comments are particularly significant because they come from a retired military figure and because he directly referenced Vice President Constantino Chiwenga. Sigauke said he believed Chiwenga represents one of the leader capable of helping to restore seriousness, order, and respect for the values that built the liberation movement. However, he was careful to distinguish his position from what could be interpreted as a call for a personality worship. He said the issue should not be about personal loyalty to an individual. Instead, he present it as a question of principle leadership. Leadership that confront corruption, respect institution, protect the constitution, and place the interest of ordinary Zimbabweans ahead of the personal interest. That message also touches on the broader political debate surrounding the president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, and the future direction of ZANUPF. Mnangagwa criticized what he described as a culture in which political power can become a route to personal enrichment and influence. He urged that national resources belong to Zimbabweans should not become the preserve of privileged networks. This is a serious political message because it challenged the idea that hold public office in about ownership of the state. Instead, Mnangagwa emphasized that the principle that leadership should be understood as public service. Another major part of his statement was his reference to the constitutionalism. He urged that Zimbabwe constitution provides safeguard around presidential tenure and warned against attempts to manipulate constitutional provisions for the better of political leaderships. That point is especially specifically relevant amid Zimbabweans' ongoing political debate over constitutional changes and the future of presidential terms. Mnangagwa urged that changing the rules for the benefit of those already in power could undermine public confidence and weaken the democratic aspiration for Zimbabweans. Zimbabweans are sacrificed. But perhaps the strong part of his Heroes Day message was his argument that remembering the fallen hero is meaningless if the country does not live according to the principle for which they died. In other words, Heroes Day should not simply be about laying wealth, awarding ceremonies, and remembering historical figures. It should also be about asking whether Zimbabweans is delivering the freedom, dignity, justice, opportunity, and good governance that the liberation struggle promised. His message was also directed at ordinary citizens. Mnangagwa called for vigilance and encouraged Zimbabweans to place the interests of the country above political function, families, personal fortunes, and individual ambition. He also addressed the family of a fallen hero and surviving war veterans, saying their sacrifice and hope should not be used merely as decorating during national celebration. For him, those sacrifices should become the standard against which Zimbabwe leadership is judged. As this where his Heroes Day message become political significant rather than simply celebration the past, Mnangagwa is asking Zimbabweans to examine the present. Are the country leadership protecting the constitution? Are national resources benefiting on ordinary citizens? Are young people receiving enough opportunity? Are war veterans being adequately supported? And perhaps most important, are political leaders treating public office as a responsibility, as a source of personal power? These are questions that go beyond one political party or one individual. Mnangagwa's statement represents Heroes Day as a moment of accountability. His argument is essentially that the liberation legacy cannot survive on remembrance alone. It must reflect in the way the country is governed. So while Heroes Day remains an important national occasion, the retired general message has suggested that commemorating Zimbabweans heroes should mean more than simply remembering them for one day. Should mean examining the country leadership, its institution, its economy, and the opportunity available to ordinary Zimbabweans. And as Zimbabweans continue to debate the future direction of ZANUPF, President Emmerson Mnangagwa's leadership, and the roles of Vice President Constantino Chiwenga, statements such as this are likely to attract significant attention. Ultimately, Mnangagwa's message is a call to return to the principles of serving, accountability, constitutionalism, and national interest. Ndizo nhau dzatakabata pano tiri kuzivisai kubva kumashoko avo Winston Mnangagwa Mapuranga. Munoti chine mashoko avo?